My name is Christopher Peter. Welcome. What a weekend it has been in the sports world. The NFL Pro Bowlers helped Eli Manning once again achieve victory over his older brother Peyton in the Pro Bowl games. As all-star games across the board are losing their luster, I think the NFL has found a reasonable medium, where stars do not have to risk injury in the toughest and most physical sport, while still showcasing their athleticism and skills. In this episode, I'm going to talk about a few instances of when there is talk of going all in and when teams actually do go all in. Sometimes it does not look like it is supposed to. Sometimes outsiders do not like that a team is so aggressive, while their team is doing the exact same thing. Some teams learn how to balance aggressive approaches in the offseason to success in the postseason. Now, let us talk about the trade that shook the basketball world. We now see that there is one team in the city of Dallas that is willing to go all in and try to win another title, even if it may be directly against the interests and wishes of the Dallas Mavericks fan base who saw their generational star be cast aside, not so long after taking them to the finals. It was not that long ago that we saw Jerry Jones speak about taking risks during his time as owner of the Dallas Cowboys and going all in to win his fourth Super Bowl win and team's sixth overall. But the fans are not really buying the message lately. Then these same pool of fans saw their hometown basketball team try to improve their chances at winning their next Larry O'Brien trophy by trading their superstar, one-in-a-generation player in Luka Doncic, a five-time All-NBA who is only 25 years old. So as Jerry Jones tries to sell his decisions as bold and daring, the new leadership of the Mavs showed what bold decision-making looks like. But yet the fans have the same bad taste in the mouth, if not a much worse taste than seeing their Cowboys not interview any of the leading candidates. The Mavericks traded a star-proven talent because of weight concerns that may lead to future injury risks for a player who has great talent in Anthony Davis, who comes with his own proven injury risks. Does not really make a whole lot of sense. The real winners of the trade were Laker fans, Rob Pelinka, and Jeanie Buss, who found their future state once LeBron James decided to start the Hall of Fame countdown. The Mavs can try to sell the strategic benefits, but the protests show that fans disagree. I wonder if this trade would have been made if Mark Cuban was still the majority owner. The new owners have their own people in place, so there is no real connection to the people and stars in place. Their interests are return on investments and appreciating value, like any good business. In all reality, the construct on the new Mavs may be more competitive than the team that started the season. Probably better defensively. Many pundits on ESPN seem to feel that way. Anthony Davis, Kyrie, and Klay along with their supporting cast may have the right mix to compete with a deep Western Conference. Obviously, the Mavs could have handled the situation with more sincerity by not making jokes and probably more empathetic to the potential size of the Luka fan base in order to avoid some of the antics seen. Despite what they felt about him, there is a need to celebrate the good that did occur during their tenure together, especially after costing him 9 figures. The risk that the Mavs face is that they do not win the title, Kyrie opts out, other key pieces leave, and the return of star searching begins, something that teams struggle with for periods of time. Maybe it would have been better to get him Weight Watchers instead. Now, on to the two franchises in football that are aggressive off the field as they are on the field. Both the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs do not hesitate to improve their teams when they feel there is a gap and an opportunity to fill that gap. The Eagles changed their defensive personnel and key pieces of their coaching staff. The Chiefs acquired talent during the season to fill weak spots on their roster. Now, both teams are playing in the final football game of the season this Sunday in the Super Bowl. I know that I am overlooking spring football, but it is not at this level. My Philadelphia Eagles faced the Kansas City Chiefs in a rematch of the big game from 2 years ago. Back then, the Eagles had the better roster than the Chiefs, according to the pundits, but came up short. A fumble returned for a touchdown and a pass interference contributed to us coming up short. Also, an unfocused defensive coordinator who was interviewing for a job during Super Bowl week might have played a small part. Nonetheless, we came up short. Now, we have a chance for redemption and the opportunity to prevent the first three-peat in NFL history from happening. I believe our offense is more dynamic than in the past. Our defense is not just complementary to the offense. They are capable of dominating in their own right. I have a great deal of respect for the Kansas City Chiefs and our former head coach in Andy Reid, but I hope that we can end the streak, hoping that we play a sound game and step up to the greatest challenge in the game today, containing Patrick Mahomes and overcoming the mastery of Andy Reid, who gets the best out of his players in Philly and Kansas City. Recently, I read an article arguing where the writer argued against the spending spree that the Los Angeles Dodgers are doing to secure a second straight World Series title. At the same time, he mentions that a hard salary cap may not be the solution either, using the recent success of the Chiefs and Patriots as a sign that there still are dynasties when every team has the same resources. The reality of life is that regardless of what the rules are or how strong you attempt to weed out every loophole, there will always be some party that finds a way to operate in that gray area, for however long they can. While some complain about their actions, others fail to find a way to do the same. That does not mean it is the right approach or the one that will lead to the desired results. I think to some degree fans do not want to see parity, rather they want to see their team have a reasonable shot to succeed. In baseball, I do not think there has been a time like the present where so many teams have the ability to change their fortunes from one year to the next. For instance, the Mets made it to the National League Championship Series in what was supposed to be a down year. While the new salary rules and the collective bargaining agreement were supposed to balance the field, the richer teams still spend like money is burning a hole in their pocket. But the benefit is that the mid-level teams as well as small-level teams are taking chances to compete. Combined with the expanded playoffs, there is opportunity for teams. Teams can add talent for multiple years or for a single run, creep into the playoffs as a wild card, and have an easier path to the World Series or League Championship than a division winner, as we have seen in recent years. Despite not having a hard cap or the so-called parity, baseball has what many fans truly want, a chance for their team to win. Furthermore, for a sport that values tradition, baseball went all in with moving towards a better approach to competitive balance. Also, they went all in to win back fans by changing the game for the better with new rules to improve the game flow, expanding the playoffs, and expanding the wild card round to a full 3-game series. That is why ratings continue to rise. A big thank you to all of you in the audience. Your viewership is appreciated and valued. The Christopher Peter Review is made up of common sense commentary available on the series by Christopher Peter and Policy and Brand Reviews. Please continue to visit www.crcreview.com for more, or subscribe on YouTube or YouTube Music. Thank you again and talk to you next time.